and welcome to Eat These Words. Today I'm going to be looking at a very old recipe called Coffee Kisses, and it's to celebrate International Coffee Day on the 1st of October. So without no further ado, let's get into this. So first of all, grab your coffee. You need a coffee, it's going to be International Coffee Day. So this recipe is going to celebrate coffee, hopefully. Well, I celebrate it by having it. It's a brew that we have every morning in this house. I'm not sure about you, but we certainly do. And this recipe is from the 1920s, I think. There's no actual record of when it started. However, the earliest book that I can find it in is from the 1920s, and that's a bureau recipe book, and they were all into trying to make the best of a few ingredients. So in my bowl I've got 6 ounces of flour, which is, bear with me, I've got my cheat sheet to the side here, which is 170 grams of flour and 86 grams or 3 ounces of caster sugar. You can use normal sugar. And we've got 86 grams or 3 ounces of good old margarine, which is what they used to use in them days. Now you can use butter, of course, if you wish, or you can use plant-based spread. It's purely up to you. You do you. So I'm going to mix these in with my hands. I'm going to use the rubbing in method. So have a drink before you start, because you need it, don't you? And just basically rub it together between finger and thumb. You know the routine. If you don't, then check out a few more of my recipes. But you're basically just rubbing it in to the flour until you've got a nice breadcrumb consistency. Now, as I was saying, this recipe dates back to the 1920s, when coffee was starting to come back in a big way. Coffee came into the UK in the 17th century, in around 1650. People had come back from travelling in the Far East with a muddy, bitter type thing called kaffa. Quickly it took on, surprisingly. There was a coffee house set up in 1650 in Oxford, which quickly took on, and there was over, by 1675, there was over 3,000 coffee houses across the UK. So it took on pretty quickly. It was considered to be, get this, a male drink. Ladies had tea, men had coffee. It was a medicinal as well, surprisingly. Not surprisingly, actually, because a lot of new things that came to Britain were considered medicinal for some reason. I think because they didn't know what it was and they didn't know what to do with it, so they considered it medicinal, I think. But it was considered a medicinal and was good for melancholy, gout, scurvy. Surprisingly, I don't know how they got that one, but I can see how they did melancholy with it, because coffee does make you get some energy, where melancholy is sitting around all day, aren't you, because it's a form of depression. But anyway, it was a male thing, coffee drinking. Yes. And the only ladies that were allowed in were ladies of ill repute into the coffee houses. They were the only ones allowed in. This is how it should be when you're finished. I'll just wash my hands. Okay, so when you've got a breadcrumb consistency, it's time to add an egg. I've got 1 large egg here, which I'm going to just pop that to one side so you can see. Put into my bowl and give it a whisk. So, give it a whisk. Yeah, so there was a petition against coffee houses in the 1670s, but it continued to be quite popular into the 1800s. By the 1950s, we had something called instant coffee, and it took off again, which is what I'm going to be using in a minute. But we're going to pop this egg into here. and we're going to mix it in with a fork. So yeah, give it a mix. Make sure you get everything. It won't come together with just one egg, I will say, which is where my next ingredient comes in. I've got in here 4 teaspoons of decaf coffee. You can use normal coffee if you wish. This is the instant coffee. Remember, it came in the 1950s, this, and it's been popular ever since because it's pretty quick and straightforward. You don't have to wait forever for it here. Mixed with 5 tablespoons of boiling hot water, and I've let that cool. And I'm going to put in here about 2 to 3 dessert spoons of coffee that I've just made. And give it a good mix because we want it mixed throughout. Since instant coffee came in, things have taken quite a turn in the coffee industry. It's now very, very popular. We've got the likes of Starbucks, Costa's, Nero, you know, all kinds of places that are dealing with coffee. Today, I'm just showcasing instant coffee today and proper coffee. Once you've got this consistency here, it's time to make it into little balls. So, I've got a baking sheet here, which I've covered with brown paper. That stops everything sticking, which is great in this instance. And I've put my oven onto gas mark 4. I'll put the conversions on the screen for you, somewhere around here. Now, this recipe says it'll make 40 balls. Maybe it's in them days, maybe it's not so much now. So taking some self-raising flour, pop it on your hands. I'll just do it over there so I don't have a problem. Here we go. And we're going to try to make balls out of this. So it says the size of marbles, so let's see if we can actually do that. Yeah, here we go. And just pop it on your baking sheet. So it's about half a tablespoon really. If it's a little bit too sticky, just put your fingers into some flour. What you're aiming for is an even number because we're going to be doing something else with them later and we need an even number for it. And when you've done the first sheet, time to pop them in the oven for about 15 minutes. So this is day 2. I had to nip out and do other things, so day 2 it is. I've let my cakes cool and I've paired them up, and I've taken 2 ounces of icing sugar and an ounce of spread. Now you can use butter if you wish, or you can use plant-based spread, whatever you want. This is Kerrygold. The recipe does call for margarine because it's a recipe from years ago, so I'm going to cream this together until we get a nice smooth consistency. Then I'll be adding some of the coffee extract that I made yesterday. Now, of course, these aren't all uniform in size. It's not going to be unless you measure them all out. You know, this is home cooking, guys. Come on. We're not going to do that. So they're just as close as they can be. They took 15 minutes in the oven. So this is coming together nicely now. As you can see, we just keep going. It doesn't take long, especially when you've got the small amount of ingredients as we have here. When you get to this stage, so I've got some of the coffee flavouring that I had yesterday. Ooh, I can't half smell it. I'm going to put, maybe it's about half a teaspoon in to start off with and take it from there. Ooh, I can smell it, it's lovely. You can use extract if you've got some. But if you've got coffee, instant coffee on hand, it's just as good. Or if you want to use espresso coffee, then you feel free. Okay, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a taste by taking the back. My hands are clean, guys. Yes, I can taste it. So now I'm going to take my little cakes here, or cookies, whatever you want to call them, and take a palette knife and just take a little bit of the icing from in the middle there and pop it on. Now, if you want to, you could go to the trouble of using a piping bag. However, whoops, nearly. However, you know me, I'm not a paper. So just press it on. You only need a little bit. Next bit. Pop it on, right in the middle there. You don't need any more than a palette knife, really. This is accessible cooking at the end of the day. We don't want it to be hard work. So I'm going to continue with these and I'll be back with you when I've finished. So this is a coffee. Oops, it is. Nearly. This is a coffee kiss. There you go. You see that? I'll just pop that there for you. Isn't it lovely? Let's see what it tastes like. You ready? Cheers. Very coffee-y. As you'd expect. Some coffee to go with. The biscuit is a bit like shortbread, but with a coffee taste to it. And the icing or the buttercream in the middle isn't a lot to make it overly sweet. Great to go with a cup of coffee, which is what I'm doing here. Really nice. If you've got any old recipes that you want me to try, let me know in the comment section down below and I'll give it a whirl. It's great just to keep all these recipes alive, isn't it? Few ingredients, economical, stuff you've got in the house, and what's more, tasty. That's the main thing. If you like what I'm doing, hit me up with a thumbs up, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and that will let you know of any videos that are coming into your inbox of mine. Comment down below if you've made these before and how you found them, or if you're making them, let me know how you get on. Anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.